Welcome to Caleb Can't Read. I'm Jordan Rabel.
I'm Caleb Terrence.
All right, so for whatever reason, although I think that we just probably found out it was a memory issue on this machine's part. Either way, the first minute of the last episode was cut out, but jumping back to it.
If it's gone, then it's
No,
gone.
no. I'm just saying we're doing the same thing again to give ourselves a little something to talk about in between the welcome and then jumping on to the author.
I mean, the only thing that we need to talk about is like how incompetent we are with anything technical in regards to recording. Like when we first got it, like we were trying to figure out like why the fuck it wasn't, because we got like a PodTrack P4 and we were trying to figure out why in the fuck it wouldn't read the SD card, and it straight up took us like 40 fucking minutes to figure out that it's just a little big holder for the actual little SD card.
Yeah, we're just putting in a fucking like
we don't even know. We don't even know, dude.
We have no idea what the fuck we're doing. But either way, I did like your answer for the last one, so I'm gonna bring it on back. So this, to spell it out again, is from Chuck Klosterman's Sex, Drugs, and Cocoa Puffs. These are questions that he would ask women to see if they are truly his one true love. That's a capital O on the one.
Stop it.
So I'm going to ask you another one.
I fucking hate that you're the conductor of this train.
It's going slow.
Fuck off, dude.
You meet your soulmate. However, there is a catch. Every 3 years.
All right, now when you're asking me this question, how do you want me to be viewing this? Do you want me to be picturing like
it's you as you? You are playing you.
Yeah, but I'm being asked the question. So am I picturing like a classy gentleman who is like whining and dining me, or am I like, or is it
it's your soulmate.
Oh,
it's however the fuck you view him, I guess.
All right, I don't know. Like, go on.
If you want him to wear a suit, that's fine.
Well, yeah, I mean,
if he happens to run a podcast with you, and
you
that's
do not
something
look
else.
In the suit. You do not look in anything. It like cinched up around, like when you put the tie on, it made your neck look like a fucking tied up roast.
Do you remember Boss Nass from episode 1, Star Wars? He was Jar Jar's mayor or whatever.
Jar Jar's mayor?
Yeah, is
the
that
gun? The one that looked like David.
Yeah, that one. Yeah. I can do that same chin waggle. Anyway, you meet your soulmate. However, there is a catch. Every 3 years, someone will break both of your soulmate's collarbones with a crescent wrench, and there is only one way you can stop this from happening. You must swallow...
You have to break their bones with a crescent wrench. No, officer, please.
You must swallow a pill that will make every song you hear for the rest of your life sound as if it's being performed by the band Alice in Chains. When you hear Creedence Clearwater Revival on the radio, it will sound, to your ears, like it's being played by Alice in Chains.
When you hear something bad, it'll be changed to something else bad.
If you see Radiohead live, every one of their tunes will sound like it's being covered by Alice in Chains. When you hear a commercial jingle on TV, it will sound like Alice in Chains. If you sing to yourself in the shower, your voice will sound like deceased Alice vocalist Lane Staley.
It does not say anything good about this guy that he thinks there's even like a single like
performing
like question here.
But it will only sound this way to you. Would you swallow the pill?
Yeah, that's stupid. That's actually really disturbing that guy thinks that's complicated. Like that he thinks it's like, ooh, what would you do? It's like
every
break
3 years I get
collarbone.
I get to watch my soulmate be tortured, or I have to listen to Alice in Chains. To be fair, I only know like 2 of their songs.
That shit,
and
okay, that would actually be pretty fucking funny.
Also,
too,
you said something shitty going to something else that's shitty after I mentioned Creedence. Are you saying Creedence is shitty?
Yeah.
What?
I don't like it.
Creedence Clearwater Revival?
It's just
Are you
like
serious?
my opinion, man. Like you don't.
Your opinion is wrong.
It's an opinion. We're not talking about
your opinion sucks, and that's a fact.
I mean, that's your opinion.
No,
I don't care. Like, but no, like that's fucking hilarious to me. That's like also like if everything was switched up to Alice in Chains, like Is it the same song over and over? Because that would be shitty.
No.
No, now it's like all of Radiohead except done by Alice in Chains. So like now, like as you're listening,
see, that's something
to anything,
shitty going to something shitty. Yeah,
yeah. No,
every
like,
time you listen to Creep, it's Rammer Creep. You know, that's what it's gonna be.
That shit would crack me the fuck up personally. So
by the time that the first 3 years rolls around and it's time to break her collarbones again, it's just like she's just like, no, you already took the pill. Nobody needs to break my collarbones. I'm gonna be like, just fucking get on the floor, okay? Everybody do not. I'm going to break them myself.
You broke my stride there. You cut me off. Fuck you, man.
Well, let's begin, shall we?
Oh yeah, nice fucking transition.
Speaking of Alice in Chains, from where we last left off,
there we go.
We were discussing Walter Michael Miller Jr., who we don't know too much about his life, but we do know that during...
My ears itchy, Jordan.
Oh, no, don't do it.
Oh, that's nice.
What if a spider was just fucking nesting in there?
That's fine.
All right, that's up to you.
Yeah.
Walter Michael Miller Jr. We don't know too much about his life, but what we do know is that after Pearl Harbor, that affected him greatly. There we go. Second for the road.
So in a way, Pearl Harbor is why we have Mad Max.
Yes.
Sick.
A Ben Affleck movie just got better.
A little bit.
No, it did not.
I haven't seen that shit since I was like 8. And I remember being like underwhelmed at like 8.
Yeah, it's still just as childish and shitty.
Also, Ben Affleck.
He's redeemed himself.
Has he?
You ever see The Town?
No, I know.
Okay, well, you know what? Fuck you. Yeah,
I actually actively avoid Ben Affleck movies.
Oh. The Town is great. Anyway.
Go. Sorry, man. My bad. Go.
You see Justice League?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up.
So, after Pearl Harbor, Walter Miller jumps into B-52 and starts flying as a tail gunner. I mean, I guess he's not piloting it, but whatever. He's flying out over Italy doing bombing runs.
Tell me whatever the fuck you want. I'm going to believe you.
He took place in the bombing of Monte Cassino, which killed 0 Nazis and killed a shitload.
They blew up a church and a bunch of innocent people. And then when they were done, they did it again like 3 more times.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. They saw that they were civilians running out into the mountains, and they were like, I am bored and I am pissed, so I'm going to hunt these people. But the Allies have never done anything wrong. Don't worry about it.
The most dangerous game. Dude, they're unarmed. The most dangerous game. How many other chances are you going to get to do this?
They have rocks. Sticks and stones, sir. And an M16. Anyway, so...
I'm going to hell.
It was happening anyway.
Yeah, but I don't want to think about that too much. Go on. Go.
If it makes you feel better.
Hey!
It doesn't exist. So,
yeah.
Anyways. So, yeah, they fucking look at the abbey out there on top of the hill. I believe it was like an Indian general that brought out a fucking thing from like the 1800s and said, look at how thick the walls are. Of course the Nazis are in there. So we bombed it to bits. People died. But we didn't let that stop us, so we let people die some more afterwards. And then from there, Walter Miller goes on to Captain Video, where he's hanging out with great sci-fi writers. He gets into sci-fi writing. And what we're focusing on primarily from his life is A Canticle for Leibowitz. We went through the first part of that.
Yeah, that was pretty sick.
Yeah. And it works out because really the book is just 3 short stories barely connected.
Did they ever do any like film adaptations?
No, and it would be perfect for like Netflix to do. I've thought about it so many times.
It's pretty rad. I'm surprised they haven't, since it really seems like they're scraping the fucking...
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, it's some of their shit has gotten real bad. So, we left with the old man burying Father Francis's body out in the Valley of the Mistborn. The old man potentially being Leibowitz, so they think. It's almost 600 years later, and the world has changed almost to what we knew it as before the flame deluge, minus the electricity. Marcus Apollo is an ambassador to the Pope, and he's attending a party thrown by the mayor of Texarkana, discussing politics. More specifically, the looming danger the Plains tribe represents. The illegitimate brother of the mayor, a man named Thon Tadeo, requests that Marcus Apollo let him see the Leibowitz documents for study, kind of hinting that Leibowitz may have been more than human. After all, why has it taken this long to get electricity rediscovered? A project the Leibowitz Abbey is just now looking into. I mean, what if Leibowitz was some sort of god? Marcus Apollo sends a letter to Dom Paolo, the new abbot to Leibowitz Abbey, detailing his conversation with Don Taddeo. You don't need to worry about all the names, by the way.
Oh no, I'm out right now.
Yeah,
I don't know.
There have been 2 names represented.
I'm really glad that we don't. That we remember how I mentioned like, oh, at some point we could like video each other, and that would like be cool because then people could see our like expressions, and that could add to like any little.
They can see the drool stains on your fucking
thing,
shirt.
and they would just see me like ADDing out in the room while you ramble on about some boring shit.
This isn't for you.
Yeah, no.
Marcus sends a letter,
but I'm gonna ruin it for you.
To Dom Paolo, the new abbot to Leibowitz Abbey, detailing his conversation with Don Taddeo. Dom Paolo feels like this is some kind of warning. He knows Don Taddeo isn't religious, so his demeanor is a little strange. Why is he asking so many things about Leibowitz? The abbey has been housing someone they just call the poet for some time, and with Don Taddeo's eventual arrival, he's going to need to make some space. So Dom Paolo gets into the poet's room to kick him out, and sees him there with a blue-headed mutant goat. He's like, where the fuck did this come from? And the poet's like,
that's dope.
He's like, wanted against old Ben? And Dom Paolo's like, fucking give it back then. Like, we don't want a goat in the abbey. Dom Paolo continues his work, trying to tidy things up for Don Taddeo's arrival. He goes into the basement where they keep books chained to desks so they aren't stolen, and a monk who works tirelessly on his new creation, the lamp. He believes this will be the most important creation since the printing press that was invented 100 years ago. The only thing about this lamp is that the simple process of understanding electricity just
slow rolling.
It just isn't there. They haven't had the same luck we have in butt fucking our way into success.
I mean, you need food to do that, right?
The butt fucking?
I mean, yeah, that too. Yes, I just mean like, make any progress. But yeah, that,
pretty much.
I'm assuming like
the machinations to
fiber.
Yeah. The machinations to power the lamp takes up the entire space of the basement and basically just comes down to a rudimentary light bulb hanging in the center. They've got dudes like fucking pushing gears and shit and like walking on giant treadmill things like the guys from Fury Road that make the elevator go, all just to like make it go like trying to like get a single light bulb going.
And it just pops.
Fuck. Meanwhile, we look into the lives of the feared Plains tribe, and more specifically their leader, Mad Bear. He's not as mad as you'd think, as he's made a secret pact with the mayor of Texarkana, without the rest of the tribe knowing. He won't wage war on Texarkana, and in return the mayor will fake people running away to make it look good, and Mad Bear goes on one of those, quote-unquote raids, where the Plains tribe will return with 100 horses, some weapons, but they also end up with something unexpected during the raid.
Is it a giant blue goat mutant?
No.
Oh. Sorry.
They end up with a prisoner. Turns out it's Don Taddeo, the mayor of Texarkana's brother, and the man so interested in finding the Leibowitz memorabilia. And he tells Mad Bear, look, there's powerful sorcery at the Leibowitz Abbey west of here. Why don't you let me take some of your men to them? Now, the poet from before, with the goat, he still has the goat. He has retained the goat. You'll be happy to know. Was supposed to bring that mutant, blue-headed goat back to the guy he won it from, an old man named Benjamin that everyone just calls Old Ben. But since the poet is a real lazy sumbitch, it ends up being Dom Paolo who takes the beast back to Old Ben. At first, the old man is excited when he sees someone approach, but seeing it's Dom Paolo, he just goes, no, it isn't him. Now, Old Ben wasn't really described, but neither was the old man from the beginning of the book. And Ben is a fucking wacko who constantly changes his story. At first, he says that people believe him to be a relative of that old man from the first story, as if he was just descended from him, but other times he claims to be over 600 years old, which could be a possibility since there are mutants in this book, so we don't really know.
I mean, yeah, just make shit up, see who believes it. That's good fun. Mm-hmm. What else do you have to do in the, post-apocalypse.
The fuck do you have to do now?
Yeah, that's all I do at work usually.
Yeah. You've never climbed a tree in your life, and nobody has bothered
like,
to
what is
ask
your job?
once.
Then I just start making it up. You think arborist is a real thing?
I'm a tree doctor.
I just mug people.
I walked into a police station, told them I stole a car. I didn't, but made for a good afternoon.
I like to tell any new people that I'm actually a convicted felon. And I spent time for 8 years for tax evasion.
No. Here's the problem. That game of telephone is going to turn into a convicted sex offender.
That doesn't... You know what, dude? That doesn't really matter in my career. Like what I do for a living, like, I don't know. I was just, like, puffing at my chest and being a dumbass and, like, talking with my girlfriend and just being like, or something about so-and-so, or I'm going to, like, kick this guy's ass or something, some stupid shit. I was probably drunk. And she's just like, no, you can't do that. Like, think about your career. And I was like, that's a plus on the resume there, man. What are you talking about?
Dude, I remember when we were working at Oil Can Henry's that we were the only two people that had not been to jail or prison.
No, legitimately, yes.
Yeah, exactly.
I've never even had, like, a speeding ticket. I am such a fucking pussy. like,
just act up your bravado. It's fucking fine,
Yeah.
I mean, who's gonna bother to double check? Like, hey, man, you step on my shoes again, I'll fucking kill you. Like, you'll kill me? My dad's fucking Bill Gates. I'll buy out your family. Like, well, who am I to...
You know what they call me in prison? They call me baby wipes.
All right, so I wasn't sure if I was going to go into that or not.
With a Z.
But
yeah, that's a good one. That's fucking good. I've done that to people, man. That was genius. Thank you for that. Thank you for bringing that into my life.
Basically, a few jobs ago, I worked at a factory and we were making like fucking ceiling lights or some shit. Yeah, dude. Whatever the fuck they wanted us to do. But we had to sanitize everything with these baby wipes just because they were about to go into hospitals and shit like that. Like, if you're ever in an office building, you look up and all those flat fucking looking panels and everything that have lights behind them? That's us. We did that. And so we were making these ceiling things, but like basically 6 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 12 hours a day. It was just making these fucking lights. But on Saturdays specifically, we would get out onto the main factory floor and then we would just start trading jobs with one another. It was a weird form of casual Friday, kind of, except if you leave, you're fired and you're not making that much more than minimum wage. But anyways, so I'm wiping down one of the things with baby wipes. And one of the guys that I knew, he was like, hey man, don't forget to wipe it down with the baby wipes. And I'm like, shit, man, you kidding me?
Sure.
They called me baby wipes in prison with a Z. It's baby wipes. And like, he just laughs it off and leaves. And then like an hour later, I'm like wiping down another panel. And there's a guy I've never seen before who comes up to me and he's like, hey, so, why'd they call you baby wipes in prison? And like, I look at him like, are you fucking kidding me? But like, I look at him and there's like 2 other people nearby that are clearly listening in and he got elected to like ask me why I was in prison and why they called me baby wipes. And I'm just like, I don't want to talk about it. And I just like left.
No, dude, I took that and ran with it. And there have been several like new people, just like poor, terrified ground people with logs falling around them that I have like yelled at. And then if they gave me any lip, just been like, you know what, they fucking call me in prison and done the whole thing.
And they'll be like, what, are you jackknife?
And they'll be like,
no, I'm baby wipes.
And then they'll always be like, wait, why'd they call you baby wipes? And I'd be like, you keep up that attitude, you're going to fucking find out. Just watch them like... And then, of course, if they go up to anybody and ask...
They know at that point to just be like, man, you don't want to know.
Yeah, no. Everybody... I didn't even have to tell them. Everybody had my back. Everybody was like, yeah, dude, you need to watch out.
I love it when there's an unspoken thing where you just know with somebody. Like, I just remember, like... Do you remember trying to get that coworker to put a pen in his butt? We're just like, you've never put a pen in your butt before? Are you fucking kidding me? And he's just like, no, you guys are fucking with me. And then somebody rounds the corner and we're like, dude, he's never put a pen in his ass before.
He's never put a pen in his ass before to get his prostate while he's beating it.
He's just like, and instead of just being like, fuck you guys, he like looks at him and he's like, what's wrong with you?
just
Just
but like
leaves.
no, like not jokingly, like he
he sold it.
Sold it.
He knew how to be a bro about it.
I wonder if he did.
That's also a possibility I did not want to find out. That has to be a long fucking pen.
I want to find out if we were successful. I like.
Well, a messenger arrives
I'm
at
sorry
the...
I took us off track like that. My bad. My bad, dude.
Well, a messenger arrives at the Leibowitz Abbey from New Rome. He tells Don Paulo, make no mistake, there will be war. The mayor of Texarkana has arrested Marcus Apollo, the ambassador to the Pope from the party at the beginning of the story, accusing him of being a spy from New Rome. The messenger says that soon, Texarkana, the Plains tribe, Laredo, and the state of Chihuahua will all be at war.
There's a state of Chihuahua?
Of course there is. You know there's a Chihuahua, Mexico.
Well, yeah, but...
Well, now it's a state. It has grown. It has taken over TJ, which...
Actually, I didn't know that. I don't know why I just lied to you just then. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there's a city called Chihuahua.
Oh, okay.
It's like TJ.
I literally just thought it was
the
Chihuahua dog.
The Chihuahua.
The Chihuahua.
So he tells him all these people are going to be at war. Don Paulo's like, what do we care? We're in the Empire of Denver. And the messenger says, because once Texarkana gets done with Laredo, they're gunning for Denver. The mayor of Texarkana wants to reunite the continent. Now, the Pope wants to know, how are you going to keep the memorabilia safe? Soon, there's a rider on the horizon scouting the abbey.
Light bulbs?
No, the memorabilia is like the blueprints and shit like that. Any old books that they found.
Word.
They have found Hitachi manuals that they're like, it's holy, you know?
What the fuck is a Hitachi?
It's the vibrating back massager. Yeah.
Oh, is that like the ones that they used to pretend weren't vibrators that now they sell at Walgreens and they're just vibrators?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
So, soon there's a rider on the horizon.
Oh, are those the big white tip ones?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, the classic.
They look like there's some sort of microphone extension for the Wii, but they're not.
Yeah, like that's the one.
But when you put it to your mouth, it smells a little funny.
That's the one like everybody found in their parents' room and like didn't know what the fuck it was, and it said massager. And then
I don't want to talk about that.
Got found. See, it happens to everyone. See,
I don't want to talk about that.
Right.
Soon there's a rider on the horizon.
Like, oh my god! And you're like, what the fuck,
dude?
man?
I found
like...
a whole fucking like catalog. I found a catalog. So my mom had tons of purses and shit. She threw them all in the fucking closet, and I was just a kid goofing around, and I was pretending that I was like stealing purses from people and like running around their bedroom like nobody was there. And so I start going through it, and I'm like,
dumb kid shit.
Yeah, and I'm like going through it, and I'm finding like some spare change and shit. I'm like, cool, and then like I found a fucking like catalog. Of like sex toys, and I'm like, I'm gonna put that right back, put it back in the closet, and wash my hands. Like,
dude.
Soon there's it's a good thing my dad doesn't listen to this.
It's important to get that out because it's kind of like
it's like therapeutic.
Like I feel like
almost
like as millennials, like as we get closer to like I don't know, maybe having children if the world sucks less. Like, these are lessons that, like, our parents should have learned. Like, you need to tell your kid that they don't need to fucking touch that, because they will find it.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
for sure.
It's going to be awkward and strange. And you're not responsible. You haven't washed it.
Well, from the fucking catalog that I looked at, my parents liked it awkward and strange. So, you know what?
Missionary sex followed by
the firm handshake.
What the fuck? Who did I just plagiarize? Oh, yeah, Eddie Izzard.
It's Eddie Izzard?
Yeah, Eddie Izzard.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's an Eddie Izzard stand-up, yeah.
Anyway, all right. Soon there's a rider on the horizon scouting the abbey before riding away. The next day, a party of 20 or 30 riders from the Plains tribe show up with Don Tadeo. So Don Paulo lets them in, because what the fuck are you going to do? And brings them down to the basement to show them the memorabilia. The one monk down there shows him the first test of his new invention, the lamp! And it works. But he needs 4 guys on a wheel to chug power and operate it. And Don Tadeo sees this and is like pissed. He really thought he was going to be the guy to bring back electricity. He's just like, they stole my idea. But he asks to be left alone so he can study the memorabilia. It isn't too long before spying monks realize that he's not looking at the memorabilia at all. He's taking measurements of the stone walls and creating sketches, basically showing how thick and well armored the abbey is. Huh?
Oh, this is gonna get... Ooh, I didn't even think about that. Oh, I didn't even... dude, I'm so fucking dumb. I didn't even draw the connection between the abbey thing.
Yeah. Oh,
wow, I'm here now.
To Caleb Can't Read.
Oh, wow.
Last week.
Holy shit. I'm ashamed of myself. I'm fucking ashamed of myself.
I'm gonna shame you hard. Don't you worry.
Oh, brother.
Don Paulo believes he's planning to use the abbey as a base for the Texarkana army when his brother tries to attack Denver. At a dinner party between the Plains tribe soldiers... You keep shaking it. Do you need one?
No.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean, I'm getting close to the bottom of the beer that I'm the beer that I'm shaking. You can't just say you keep shaking it. Do you need one? When no one can see me.
Oh, that's a fair point. Quit shaking it.
Quit shaking it around.
You're getting it wet everywhere. Stop it. At a dinner party between the Plains tribe soldiers with Don Tadeo and all the monks of the abbey, the poet, who was just fucking couch surfing around there, very publicly calls out Don Tadeo for trying to use the abbey as a fortress, because he's a fucking hippie. And Don Tadeo says, yes, that's what my brother wants, but I'm more concerned about the fact that these walls can get knocked down and destroy all the memorabilia. I think we should move them elsewhere.
Destroy them walls.
What? Are you drawing Mad Max conclusions or something?
No, not at
What are you
all.
doing?
Not at all. Go on.
Just then, old Ben the hermit bursts in, jumps up on the table, grabs Don Tadeo by the arms, and stares him in the eye. He angrily says, "It's still not him," and walks out. About 10 weeks go by, and Don Tadeo and his crew and the monks at the abbey are living in near harmony. War has been declared between Texarkana and Laredo, as expected. Marcus Apollo, the Pope's... yeah.
As expected.
As expected.
Hey, how fucked up did it sound if I like talking to the coffee mug? Is that?
It sounds like you're talking into a coffee mug like in a usual speak.
Oh, okay.
I don't like hearing you drink it, though.
I mean, it's... You don't... Yeah, dude.
Marcus Apollo, the Pope's ambassador, has been tried and executed by being drawn, quartered, and flayed. People from nearby ransacked towns have fled to the Leibowitz Abbey for help. Don Paulo tells them they can only take in women, children, the elderly, and the sick. If they take in able-bodied men, then invading armies may think they're housing soldiers and blow the abbey up.
I mean, wouldn't they just do that anyway? Yeah.
They don't know exactly what they're going to be doing, but it's like, I mean...
Oh, right? wait, I forgot the metaphor here. Yeah, no, now that makes perfect
well, no,
sense.
they're completely defenseless. Like, they don't want them to give them any reason to, like, fuck them up.
No, I forgot this was actually about when the writer participated in a massacre of civilians. Actually, so, yeah.
To be fair, we'll call it war crimes, okay? There's no need to...
Yeah, is that... I mean, I don't know much about that stuff, but yeah, I feel like that.
It's not technically a war crime if you...
That sounds more official. War crime?
But it wasn't. It's not a war crime if you did it under false pretenses. I know. No. It's still a massacre. It's still a massacre.
Okay, so
but legally it's not a war crime.
So I was right.
Yes.
Thank you.
Hey, man. Oh, fuck. What?
Did you just knock your beer over?
I don't know.
You did something.
I did something. I'll just pretend it's my big dick hitting the floor.
Actually, I think it was your fat ass hitting the chair a little bit too hard and maybe compromising the integrity of one of them legs.
I leaned away.
Thank you.
So Don Tadeo gets ready to leave. A dying messenger from New Rome arrives with the message that the Pope is a heretic, and the leader of Texarkana will be the head of the new church. So say, of course, the leader of Texarkana. Before Don Tadeo leaves, he hands over his internal sketches of the abbey, and he and Don Paulo shake hands. In the last little tidbit of this section, we see the poet and a soldier both dying on a hill after having attacked one another. The soldier is calling out for God.
Whoa, what did I miss there?
Oh, it just jumped ahead a little bit. Basically, shit is going down.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
The soldier is calling out for God, so the poet crawls over to the soldier, absolves him of his sins, and kills him. Ego te absolvo, son, said the poet, and plunged the knife into his throat. Shortly after, the poet dies too, and suddenly it is the year of our Lord, 3781. So this is the third and last story of this collection. Now, before we dive into the third part of A Canticle for Leibowitz, I just want to talk a little bit about Old Ben.
Yeah?
Just the identity of the him that Old Ben refers to is never revealed. You know, it's still not him. But in the old Christian tale of the Wandering Jew, a man mocks Jesus on his way to the crucifixion, denying him rest on his doorstep. Because of this, Jesus curses the man to wander the earth until the days of Revelation. If Old Ben really is immortal, it would stand to reason...
Old men.
Huh?
Old men or old man? What? Is it plural or...
What?
You sound like you're saying plural.
If Old Ben...
Oh, Ben. I thought you were saying old men. I was like, I want to take a moment to talk about old men. I was like, what?
Old men.
I thought, I straight up, I thought that's what you were saying.
Their scrotum tastes like salt. No.
I talked to you about old men.
Let me talk to you about old... If you or a loved one has been diagnosed
with old man.
If Old Ben really is immortal, it would stand to reason that he's...
Damn it.
What?
You fucking burp.
Oh, was that my...
We're like 2 fucking feet away from me. I'm leaning into
sorry.
a mic, you ass.
Kiss me. Oh. I'm like, I didn't fucking fart.
It smelled like fucking hot dog and gastrointestinal issues. Like, fucking fuck,
yeah,
bud.
That's
like,
me.
Jesus.
No, don't.
God. Fucking you're just like, oh, well, as long as nobody can hear it. Fuck you, Caleb. Like I wouldn't fucking...
You think I won't rip ass right onto this microphone? I will.
It smells like a corn dog that I, like, shit on.
Isn't that
That's
how
the
you
smell.
make corn dogs?
Yes. Go on.
Deep fried in grease. So
My own green. No, this is not even... Okay, that's not funny at all. It's just nasty.
that might just be my breath at this point, man. This is a powerful IPA.
I hate IPAs, dude.
Yeah, me too, but it's the only thing that gets an alcoholic
No,
drunk these days.
I'm done with it. I'm done with the IPAs. I'm done with... They taste like fucking earwax. They taste like fucking earwax, dude.
I know. It tastes horrible. People that say that they
Did you
like
do the
it.
test?
What?
The test where I told you, like, years ago, upon meeting, where I was like, put your finger in your ear and then pull your finger out of your ear and taste your finger. Okay, cool. Cleanse your palate so it's fresh, so we're not biased. Take a sip of the IPA. It's the same.
I'm actually dipping my earwax into the IPA to make
Give it that bite.
If Old Ben really is immortal, by the way, it's like an 8.6 or something.
Yeah, but
It does well.
I mean, Bowie makes like the 6% like Pilsner. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
You really need 8% on that? Like, at that point, just get like a cider.
Hey, my liver is so spotted, it's practically in fucking camouflage.
Yeah, but what about your mouth? Your mouth, what tastes?
Oh, I'm already married.
I'm just saying, like, you're fine. Like,
If Old Ben really is immortal, it would stand to reason that he's a little off his rocker by being alive for thousands of years with no end in sight. He just wants to die already. And the him he's referring to is probably Jesus. Anyway, just wanted to put that out there. That's my theory, anyway.
oh, I'm sorry. Nobody's going to be able to follow that because of the tangent we went off on. I certainly didn't.
The old man, if Old Ben is in fact the old man from the first story, then he is immortal. And it might not just be a mutant thing, too. Oh. He might just be the wandering Jew from the Bible.
I'm literally just picturing, like Ben Kenobi right now.
Okay. I'm
Like, that's...
well, which one?
Alec
Guinness or the
no, episode...
Ewan McGregor?
Math 4.
Okay, Alec Guinness.
Yes.
He hated Star Wars so much.
That's fine.
I know. He was in The Great Escape. He looked good when he was younger, honestly.
Yeah?
Yeah, he's a good-looking young man. Old man. I don't give a shit.
Man.
I make him cry for his walker. Anyway.
Jeez.
Okay, so the final
old
part...
man in the gym shower.
Yeah, just go down these stairs down there. You'll see one red light and a single chair and a lab coat hanging. You just sit down in that chair for me. Okay, so the final part of this book, and yeah, I'm quoting a Viagra Boys song. Why the fuck not? Okay, so the final part of this book is fucking crazy. There's flying cars and space colonies, but a group of soldiers sing the Nazi youth anthem because it's...
In the book?
Yeah, because the whole thing is that...
Even in the post-apocalypse, there are still fucking Nazis.
Well, that's the thing. The words have lost all meaning. Language has been rewritten, everything. All that they know it's an old hymn, basically. Oh, so they're just like, and my Hitler,
Stop.
My Hitler.
Nope, nope, those are the cursed words. We will not say them.
So...
Oh, wait, you didn't actually know it. Okay,
why would I know it?
Look,
well, I guess look at me.
You look, you're real pasty. You're real pasty and blue-eyed.
But yeah, my theory on that...
a little dishwater, so you're not quite there.
A piece of Nazi sheet music got saved over the centuries as a piece of memorabilia or something, and people sing it because it's lost all meaning. The narrative becomes a script like for a movie in the first part, where a bunch of journalists are asking a military minister about radiation levels seen growing abruptly on the Pacific Northwest coastline via satellite. Have we been attacked? There's also radiation levels spiking in China. Was that a retaliation attack? It's because of this that the abbot of Leibowitz Abbey, Dom Zierke, asks the question, has Lucifer fallen? It's code words. We'll get to it later. Meanwhile, Brother Joshua sets out to collect dust samples on a laboratory roof, checking for radiation levels. His readings prompt him to visit Dom Zierke at the Abbey, basically concluding that yes, there has been some sort of nuclear attack. Dom Zierke tells Brother Joshua that there is a plan. There's always been a plan for the inevitable end of the world. Oh, man.
Brother, how you doing?
K. Peregrinator Project.
Let me take a look at this bad boy. Come on.
It's literally not even, like, I tried looking at it, and it's not a word in Spanish or otherwise.
Peregrin... Yeah.
Pregnator? I'm just going to call it the Pregnator.
Peregrinator.
Is that... What? That actually...
Peregrinator.
Peregrinator. Yes.
Yeah, if you say it all like bullshit Latin, like...
Peregrinator.
Doesn't that fit with their theme?
That's pretty good.
Like, right? Like...
Well, no, but the K? Q-U-E?
K?
That's total Spanish.
Is it? I don't... Dude, I'm
that means what?
I don't know dick about either of those languages. So...
I'm going to make a new children's book. The Saddest Puerto Rican.
Yeah. The Saddest Cabana Boy. You right, buddy?
Yeah. He doesn't have a banana hammock. It's more of like one of those plantation ones that are...
Oh, it's real.
Used for cooking.
It's not great. Whatever. At least I don't look like Casper the Friendly Ghost, you fat, pale bitch.
Well, the K. Peregrinator Project basically takes the memorabilia and teachings of the church, packs them all onto a spaceship, and shoots all their shit.
We have spaceships now?
Yeah. We got flying cars, we got everything.
Okay.
It shoots all their shit, plus a collection of monks.
Wait, this is after we were just in post-apocalyptic societies. Like,
yes, but this is everything rebuilt now. We are looking at the end of the world again. We're looking at the fact that nuclear bomb has been set off somewhere in the Pacific Northwest and possibly another one in China.
Okay.
It's all cyclical.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Jesus, Murph.
That's your own.
Oh, I know, brother.
So they take the teachings of the church, this project, puts them on a spaceship, shoots all their shit plus a collection of monks out to distant worlds, where the church can essentially start anew. Dom Zierke just has 3 questions for Brother Joshua. 1. Are you willing to go on the mission? 2. Are you ready to be a priest? And 3.
Do I look good in this dress?
And 3. Have you seen my child? Are you ready to head the K. Peregrinator mission? He has 3 days to decide. On their way to a dinner gathering with the other monks and citizens that are housed in the abbey, Dom Zierke and Brother Joshua come upon Mrs. Grayles, who everyone tries to avoid. She's an older, hunchbacked woman who constantly wants someone to baptize what she calls her daughter, Rachel. Rachel is a second head on her shoulder, eyes closed, and completely comatose.
Fuck yeah. just a wobbling.
Yeah, just yeah.
Well, fucking baptize it.
Nobody wants to. It's gross.
Wait, how the fuck could you possibly not How could you get baptized without baptizing that at the same time? Is she baptized?
I don't know.
That doesn't make any fucking sense.
I think that she's
like,
probably
even for a blue goat
she probably
story, that does not make sense.
She probably is crazy enough to be like, oh, no, I think it's a bunch of bullshit. But Rachel, she's real Catholic.
No.
You know, like.
No, I don't. No, that is not. Anyway, I'm sorry. There's
because when you dunk the head, I don't know. I mean.
Like, did they hold the fucking weird unconscious head out when they put her in the basin?
Nobody wants to touch it. Like,
yeah.
And Tom Zerke is like, I've told you, Mrs. Grills, get it done by your parish priest. And she's like, no, I want you to do it. During the conversation, convinced it's only his imagination, Joshua later tells Dom Zerke he could have sworn he saw Rachel smile at him. At the dinner gathering, Dom Zerke alerts the rest of the monks. Lucifer has fallen. Their code phrase that the end times are near, and the K Peregrinator project is to commence. The monks and citizens argue a bit, saying, no, how could anyone cause a nuclear apocalypse twice? This is just military prattle. This couldn't...
Same way they caused a world war twice. Right? This is not out of the ballpark.
We tried real hard to do a third one recently. We fucking tried.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised.
People just weren't behind it.
I wouldn't be fucking surprised if we absolutely have and they just haven't called it that.
Actually, yeah. I mean, kind of.
Yeah,
it never really starts with a huge bang. Everyone
Wait, our
said...
military's everywhere? Yeah. And sometimes there's conflict? Yeah. We're just not naming it that.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
To be fair, America has never lost a war because the Vietnam War is the Vietnam conflict, and the Korean War is something we just don't talk about.
This is labeled as ongoing.
Yeah, no, that's basically it. The whole thing with the shot heard around the world when fucking Archduke Ferdinand was killed and kickstarted World War I. Dude, shit had been going off the fucking handle for a long time before that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Sorry. Yeah, you said shot heard around the world, and my brain went to that super weird in hindsight shit to show to kids, the Schoolhouse Rock thing. You don't remember that?
No, did Schoolhouse Rock have an assassination?
No, they reference.
I'm just a bill sitting in the bookhouse depository.
No. You don't remember? They were there was the shot heard around the world one that was and they said that was the start of the revolution.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was the whole.
Well, that's another one. Yeah.
Okay,
there's two
there
different
were several
ones.
shots heard around the world then.
Yeah, it's loud. Fuck you.
It's not that loud. It's
Fuck
not
you,
that
Caleb.
fucking loud.
It's loud.
No, it's not.
There were muskets.
Muskets are so loud.
Yeah, the shot heard around the world. Meanwhile, the west coast of all the Native American tribes didn't hear any of it. Canadians didn't hear any of it. No, the Boston massacre.
This shot respects borders.
These shots don't run.
These shots respect imaginary lines.
So, yeah, basically all these monks are talking and they're like, none of them believe it. This couldn't possibly be the end of the world. Amongst these people, Brother Joshua notices one guy, an old man, just smiling. He asks the old man his name and he says, call me Lazarus. Now, we don't know for sure.
Sick, dude.
But it's cool name, dude. Yeah, David Bowie song. I love it. Now, we don't know for sure, but it's hinted that this is either the same old pilgrim from the first two stories or less likely a descendant, like what was hinted. The next day, nations respond to one another's claims. It's a rapid back and forth of demands as everyone claims a different truth. Dom Zerke receives a coded message that tells him the time for the K pregnant is now.
K pregnant?
The K peregrinator. It's the fucking thing where they shoot everybody out into a goddamn shuttle.
Oh, yeah.
All
right, yeah.
It's the thing. It's the one thing I've been having trouble with this whole goddamn story. The K peregrinator is now.
The K peregrinator is now.
Not in 2 days, or even tomorrow. Today, we gotta get going. Get the monks over to New Rome now. Dom Zerke calls in Brother Joshua, asking
We're going to space. Sick. All right, we're in space.
It's really weird because our morals don't even give women feelings. This is going to be hard. Oh, sorry, that's just a Christian thing.
Oh, okay.
No, that has nothing to do with the story. That's just them.
Thank God that survived the apocalypse. And society didn't just crumble.
Now, just to be sure, do we still hate minorities?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, good.
Somebody's going to just clip that out of context.
No, I was going to take it somewhere worse. Never mind. Anyway.
We can't edit well enough yet, man. We can install like a little censored beep.
We could, but I would still talk over it and just be like, beep.
Also, if
Hitler
I saw
did
you
nothing
reaching
wrong.
for the
Beep.
button, I'd just slap you and be like, no, just don't. Like,
no, I'm going to say how I really feel.
they still know you're saying it. It still counts. Like, just because I don't hear it. Like,
I think this did come like pre-programmed with like a laugh track and like claps or something. Ha ha ha! We'll tell you when to fucking laugh, all right?
Dude, I want to have that one on for when I'm very bored, just so I can just like
we need to record
having
you just
a great time, Jordan.
we need to record you just saying something like, "Wow, man, that's deep." Like,
wow. Various grunts, beer clicks. Like,
wow, really makes you think.
Makes you think. I will never say that phrase. I have only said makes you think to people that are explaining something very stupid to me.
I actually love saying it in random situations.
Makes you think.
Yeah. I actually love saying it just in random situations. Just like, hey, can you turn the oven on? Like, sure, what's it need to be on? Just 350 is fine. Really makes you think.
That's like usually what I'll say to anybody at work that always anybody who in the workplace wants to get, whenever they want to bring up something political, they're always like far right.
Of course.
And everybody else, has respect. But
really weird that the career that you're in of like
that's all trade jobs though. You're gonna like
exactly.
have that fucking everywhere, and it fucking sucks, dude. It's so obnoxious. But I'll just if they'll say some dumb like alt-right shit to me, I'll just be like, yeah, man, makes you think, and they'll be like, yeah, and they'll like make the face, but then they'll like be quiet, and they'll like look their head out the truck window for a second as we're driving, and just be like, yeah, man, he gets it, and I'll be like, like it's just so easy to just like shut down, like, wow, man, that really makes you think, man. Like it works every
that's actually great
fucking time.
I want to say that after somebody tries to tell me a joke that has failed, and just and then the clown did this, ha ha ha, and just
man, anti-joke. Don't.
Really makes it.
I'm so sorry I said that. Don't do one. Don't.
No, I'm not going to do an anti-joke because they're all long and hilarious. But it's gonna we're gonna run out of memory.
I'm stressed. I don't want you. I don't like it. Don't. All right, I'm sorry.
Don't like it?
Dude, thinking about you telling me an anti-joke stressed me out so much that I forgot. I completely derailed my train of thought on this conversation, and now my heart is racing because I hate it that much.
Really makes you think. So Dom Zerke calls in Brother Joshua, asking him if he's decided what he'll do. After a bit of deep thinking, he tells Dom Zerke that he will accept the honor to lead the mission. But Dom Zerke corrects him. You misunderstand. You're not accepting the honor. You're accepting the burden. With 27 monks on board...
Isn't that the same thing with anything that says, like, this is an honor? Like, isn't that always how that works? Like,
well, no, I always said this is an honor after receiving gifts from Santa. Just, it's been an honor, sir. just collecting eggs from the Easter Bunny out all along. It's an honor.
This is an honor. Picking up the Hitachi. This is an honor.
With 27 monks on board a plane on the runway, Dom Zerke addresses the passengers. Remember this Earth.
Wait, they're planes? I thought they were spaceships.
That too. They're trying to get a plane to New Rome in which they're going to launch the rocket.
This is stupid.
They're in fucking Denver.
Why are there rockets in New Rome if they're in Denver?
They're in Denver. They're trying to get people to New Rome, which is like somewhere closer to the Midwest. and then they're going to shoot it.
Oh, it's closer to the Midwest.
Yeah. No, they're not flying it like 2 blocks.
It's still stupid.
Fuck you. You're stupid.
My point still stands. I don't like,
I agree with both things.
That is irrelevant. But yes, sure.
And he addresses the passengers. Remember this Earth. Never forget her, but never come back.
How can I when all there's going to be to do is orbit it?
No, they're going to distant stars. They're going to try and find a habitable planet. That's the whole thing.
That's also stupid.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it with a telescope, you're not going to get to it with a spaceship.
The book's from 1955. Fuck yourself.
Yeah, there's a lot of stupid shit from 1955, Jordan.
Yeah, you ever seen The Day the Earth Stood Still? It's horrible.
No.
Well, you don't need to. There's a Keanu Reeves remake, and it's horrible. It's worse.
Even the name sounds boring. Keanu Reeves is in it? It's bad. That's weird.
Oh, okay, good. You were joking. I was like, look, I know that there's a resurgence because of John Wick, but like most of the movies he is in are bad.
Yeah. Like, and it was like, oh, Jesus.
Point Break is great.
No. I'm not going off on this. No.
Point Break is great, and it has Gary Busey, too. But you know why it's great? Because it's horrible. It's such a dumb movie. It's so good. Like, nobody is watching Mad Max because of the writing, and like the writing's not good. But that's why it's so quotable.
Well, yeah, it's for the, for all the awesome shit.
It's for the funsies.
Yeah.
So, on his way to New Rome, Brother Joshua believes this to be a new exodus for the human race, while the people left behind have only to, quote, wait for the end and pray it would not come. Well, regardless of the news on the radio telling people that things between nations are not escalating, they're also saying it's illegal to put someone out of their misery. Instead, they have to go to a designated mercy camp.
Me this time, Jesus.
Oh, look at you. Absolutely disgusting.
Oh, holy fuck.
People have to go to a designated mercy camp where a judge will prescribe you a death sentence, administer euthanasia, and afterwards have you properly cremated. So Dom Zerke is talking with a doctor who stops by the abbey, and he wants to set up a relief station nearby to better treat people with radiation sickness. Dom Zerke says it's fine so long as they don't help people administer suicidal treatments. And after a whole lot of bickering, the doctor relents. Relief station, yes. Mercy camp, no. Because remember, they are still Catholics, and suicide is still a sin. That is very much a thing.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to joke around in the suicide bit. I'm not. Don't look at me like that. Like, Caleb, you got anything? No, move on.
No, I was just hoping I could take more than a quick sip of beer. Like, keep it going.
Well,
here are my thoughts on suicide.
Terrible fucking time to sip your beer and be like, Caleb, can you please carry this for a moment? Like, no, like.
What are your...
don't. No.
What are your thoughts on...
No, that was bad. That was poor judgment on your part. Now proceed.
But later, Dom Zerke is reading on the rooftop of the abbey and watches the relief camp being built. They're unloading urns, a boiler, and bricks for a fire pit. Dom Zerke goes to the doctor he spoke with before to complain, but the doctor pretty much tells him, not my problem. There's also a woman and her child who's a hot button of contention. The woman has a broken hip and can barely move. Both her and her daughter have radiation sickness, but the kid practically fucking glows. Both are in constant pain and throw up day and night. The doctor wants them to go to the mercy camp and fucking end it. But Dom Zerke personally goes to them, and even though it doesn't seem like she speaks very much English, he's begging the mom not to let her daughter go to hell and shit. Just really packing on guilt to this poor woman who's suffering like an asshole.
So in order for it not to be a sin, you have to be like, hey man, you have to roll into the room, you have to be like, hey man, do you want to die? And then they have to be like, no, and give you a little winky poo. And then you just, like, get after him.
He's berating this poor woman. And it's like, at a certain point, I would be like, look, I've built a machine that drops a real heavy rock every half hour. Make sure you're not under it between noon and 1, huh?
Just make sure you're not there. Yeah. Just
fucking
check. So, do you want to die? And then it's just like little boxes, like check, no.
Both these boxes say yes. Why are there hearts for the eyes? One day, Dom Zerke is out just driving around.
That nice little dead air, yeah.
And he sees the lady with her kid limping along the road. He gives them a lift to the relief station and fucking orders the lady
dude, that sucks.
to just go for treatment and not to the mercy camp. He drops her off and runs some errands, but when he gets back, he sees the lady hobbling to the mercy tent with her daughter. So he pulls over and starts yanking on her like, "No, Christ commands you!" And the doctor from before is there like, "Dude, let it go!" And Dom Zerke ends up so frustrated, he fucking just cold cocks the doctor. Just pop! Pop! Oh, fuck. Guess I'm going to hell too.
Well, wait, how fucked are all these people too? Is it like in this? Does it work the same way as like Chernobyl when like if you were close to somebody who was like fucking pretty much glowing,
yeah,
then
basically
you're just fucked?
Yeah,
like
you get all cheese pizza.
Well, I wanted to see my husband. like I told you no.
Yeah, so this whole thing is like, I mean, Walter knew that, like, Walter Miller knew.
Yeah, they're all Chernobled.
Well, he knew that TV existed. He worked on, Captain Video or whatever the fuck it was. Yeah. But, like, this is a world rebuilt to the point where we have flying cars and shit, but we also don't have TV. All that we have is radio. We have no internet, no nothing. So there are reports of, like, radiation bombings going on, like nuclear shit going on. But we don't know for sure. But yeah, there's clear evidence of people just fucking dying of radiation sickness. And it's like, no, don't, come on, think of Christ, and it's like, Christ is what got me into this mess. God put me here. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. In a fit of loss, Dom Zerke is back at Leibowitz Abbey, having agreed to hear confession from Mrs. Grayles, the woman who has Rachel, the second head on her fucking shoulder.
Yeah.
But she isn't there for herself. She asks for the ability to forgive God for all he has done. Dom Zerke is, of course, scandalized by this, but he goes along with it. Suddenly, they hear the sound of missiles going off in the distance. He quickly absolves Mrs. Grayles of all her sins as fast as he can before the abbey explodes. Dom Zerke finds he's been knocked completely out of the abbey.
That'd be a sick fucking scene, man. Like, what the fuck? Why haven't they done
I know.
That? Like,
I know.
That'd be tense as fuck.
Right?
Like,
no, dude, this is my favorite part of maybe the entire book. Dom Zerke finds he's been knocked completely out of the abbey and into the underground crypt, pinned from the back down and fatally injured. Bodies knocked loose from their coffins just lying around the rubble. And he can't shake a little voice that sounds like it's mocking his prayers. "Oh, Jesus, Mary, Joseph." "Oh, Jesus, Mary, Joseph." As Dom Zerke tries to call for help, he's only greeted...
This echo distorts your voice. For funsies.
He's just yelling into a fucking trumpet by mistake. No, I'm being mocked by God. As Dom Zerke tries to call for help, he's only greeted by the figure of Mrs. Grayles stumbling around in the dark.
Oh, sick. Was it the second head?
When Dom Zerke tries to speak with her, she only mockingly repeats what he says. "Help! Help! I'm hurt! I'm hurt!" Upon closer inspection, Mrs. Grayles is still alive, but completely knocked cold. It's a fully lucid Rachel who's talking and controlling the body now.
And Rachel is a fucking bitch.
While he himself is slowly dying, Dom Zerke attempts to baptize Rachel.
Oh, thank God, I'm awake. Time to be a bitch.
Finally, I can say everything how I really feel. I'm going to say the hard R. While he himself is slowly dying, Dom Zerke attempts to baptize Rachel, but she seems disgusted, and every time he tries to make the sign of the cross on her forehead, she leans away with this ugly look, just... Finally,
dude, now we're doing exorcist shit in the fucking catacombs with the broken back. This shit is the tits, dude.
Finally, he faints, and in his final moments, Dom Zerke is fed a Eucharist by Rachel, who says...
What? What?
Yeah, so he's dying, and she finds a Eucharist on the ground.
What the fuck is a Eucharist?
Oh, that's the cracker. This is his body, and then you drink a bit of wine, a little Pinot Noir. This is his blood.
Okay, I don't care if I piss anybody off. That shit's so fucking stupid.
Well, yeah, you're eating the flesh and blood of a demigod while people chant. It's fucking archaic.
What the fuck, dude? I mean, it's fine. I mean, I've literally seen, like, snake.
Oh,
Snakes,
yeah, you've seen
so,
snake handlers.
Like, that's fine.
Yeah,
Like,
no, it's all in the same wheelhouse, though.
Jesus
It's
fuck,
the
dude.
yeah, I know.
Like,
I'm okay with religion. I'm okay with religious people, but please admit it's weird.
Like,
It's a little weird.
yeah, it's weird. I mean, it's not. That wasn't Baptist crazy, but like,
Last time I was in the Philippines, I had a healing woman do like witch doctor shit to try and like make my thumb feel better because my thumb
what was
was
wrong
like
with your thumb?
it hurt. Honestly, I wanted the excuse. I was like, "What's a problem
Yeah,
I
you
have?"
just wanted a story, you fucking
Oh
dick.
yeah, oh yeah,
Like,
dude. Like it totally did. And so this healing woman was like doing prayers and rubbing oils on my hand and shit while she just fucked around and watched soap operas on TV. Like it was cool as shit, and it didn't work. But you know, the massage felt great. Sure, I'll take a hand massage. Anyways, so he faints, and in his final moments, Dom Zerke is fed a Eucharist by Rachel, who says, "Live," before succumbing to his wounds and passing away. The book ends with the observation of a spaceship leaving Earth, and goes on to talk about, dispute all our war, the ecosystem in the ocean is ignorant to all our bullshit. It isn't until... What? Well, it's not gonna be.
Yeah.
It isn't until there comes a day when the wind blows ash over the waters, killing the fish. Quote, "A wind came across the ocean, sweeping with it a pall of fine white ash. The ash fell into the sea and into the
fucked it
breakers. The breakers washed dead shrimp ashore with the driftwood. Then they washed up the whiting. The shark swam out to his deepest waters and brooded in the old clean currents. He was very hungry that season." The end.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. No.
That's pretty
fully. I feel like there haven't.
Yeah, for the record, this guy is pretty fucking sick.
It is a super good book.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know I summarize shit, but here's the thing. In each episode that I'm summarizing, I'm fucking off with the side plots and shit like that. Dude, it's good. It's funny. It's because it like almost mocks religion too. Like clearly the whole thing with them wanting to canonize Leibowitz, and they're like, did he walk on a bed of roses? And it's like, of course that shit didn't happen. But if you look at the stories of old saints, somebody was a martyr whose head was chopped off, and they picked up their head and walked up to the top of a hill and declared the works of God or something before their body fell over. And it's like, of course that shit didn't happen. But like in a mere like 10 years, they're like, he had a halo. He wrote his name of Leibowitz upon the rock. He walked on a bed of roses, and then he, you know, whatever, farted and fucking flew out. You know, whatever.
Yeah.
There is in A Canticle for Leibowitz a theme of wandering. Not just in the character of the pilgrim, more than likely being the wandering Jew if he's not just a mutant created by the flame deluge, but the K. Peregrinator project itself is Latin for where it wanders, although very broken, because I tried looking it up and it's like, it's not quite there. But it was the 50s.
Pergananant.
Yeah. Like, it's in the 50s. He couldn't use Google Translate. So it's the best he could do.
That's pretty good.
But he tried for where it wanders, which is kind of scary when you realize they're just shooting out into space aimlessly on a goddamn spaceship. There are many, many characters who wander from one place to another throughout the book in search for answers. For the most part, it's monks in search of religious, like, you know, religious ones. But
Religious bits.
yeah. But whether they come across these answers by running into an old pilgrim or finding a near-dead woman and her child on the way to a mercy camp, it always comes about that these characters' theological issues are solved by wandering. Another theme is how history repeats itself in the birth of legends surrounding our past. Just as the story of the old man from the beginning of Part 1 quickly becomes muddied by the rumors in the lifespan of Brother Francis alone, the questions of whether or not this was even St. Leibowitz in the first place becomes lost. Throughout Parts 2 and 3, the tale of St. Leibowitz showing himself to Brother Francis gets brought up in bits and pieces again and again. People start telling it like it's a fucking fairy tale, with no one questioning all the supernatural elements that came with it. This can obviously be seen as an allusion to all religions, but more specifically in this instance, Christianity. Ask a diehard Christian about Jesus walking on water, and they'll accept it in a blink. Have Chris Angel doing it, and they're looking for wires.
Yeah, not really.
I think he might be a second coming.
Yeah, no, they're I feel like they're way more likely to accept that. What are you talking about? Like, I mean, demonstratively. Like,
but of course, there's also repetition in the nuclear apocalypse as well. Although we, as a species, managed to blow ourselves the fuck up and supposedly learn our lesson, once we rediscover nuclear technology, we're bound to do it again. In a final example of reoccurrences, just because I really like this bit, when Dom Zerke asks Mrs. Grails about Rachel, her second head, she says she just grew there one day. If somebody's two-headed, then that should happen at birth, though.
I love how, she's still around in the third one, right? And, we've advanced and, we've rebuilt things, and nobody was like, can we please study the two-headed bitch?
No. They're still mutants. That's the thing. We've all just it's a new
but they
timeline.
Haven't looked into that at all. We have nuclear power and spaceships, but
nobody
they're not
wants to
figure out what's up with the fucking mutants.
No.
They're just no, that's very hurtful. We don't need to find anything out about the mutants.
Excuse you. Derogatory term. It's misborn.
That's worse.
It doesn't
that would be
it is
so
the
much
Valley
worse
of the
than
Misborn in the book, so it's.
Yeah.
I mean, they are kind of
misborn.
Yeah, it's kind of accidentally born into not quite what you wanted.
Really, nobody, we have all this technology. Nobody ever looked into what the fuck is up with this chick's second head.
No, why question it? She's just a mutant like some other people.
Maybe they just woke it up and they were like, oh, she just keeps repeating what I'm saying in a mocking tone.
Also, we've as far as everyone knew up to that point, she's comatose. She just kind of kind of does that whole thing the entire time. The whole Stephen Hawking.
Okay, this shit gets super weird by the third story.
Yeah. Oh, it's weird all the way through, but it's. So as Rachel feeds Dom Zerke the Eucharist before his death, he considers Rachel an example of immaculate conception, feeling at peace that he has truly witnessed a miracle.
Gross.
Because it was supposed to happen at birth that you have two heads. But according to Mrs. Grails, she says that the head just grew there one day. It just happened. She wasn't born with it. It just happened. So that's immaculate conception to him.
Still...
She's like the mutant version of Mary and Christ. That's... Yeah, it's gross. And that's the thing.
Okay, no, I'm holding on to that. It does not fucking make sense, even in the context of this shit, that they have rebuilt and have society, and, I'm assuming they have, somewhat decent medical care if they're going to fucking space and shit, and then a chick, if I, we don't have the ability...
We have Disney Plus, and if I stub my toe, no. I'm getting... charged.
Okay, no, dude. We can't go up into space long term to live right now. We
Correct.
have nuclear shit. We have medical care. If I started growing a fucking head, that would be an issue that would get dealt with and documented, right? What the?
Well,
why are they just letting her run around? This is not your typical wingnut running around downtown
half
Portland.
Brown.
Here. What? That has nothing to do with it.
No, it does. No one's gonna care.
I'm pretty white right now still.
Currently, you really soak up that sun.
I've been told that in the winter I mostly just look like green.
Are you the fucking goat man? Goat man, get out here. Are you a fucking Winnebago or whatever? A Wendigo?
A Wendigo. Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck, there's Winnebagos out in these woods.
Nice. Oh, fuck, it's the fucking flesh-eating Winnebago.
Get that fifth wheel out of here. Oh, shit.
Shape-shifting Winnebago.
Is that a Volvo? No, don't get in there. It's a Winnebago. When A Canticle for Leibowitz came out, the reviews were a little mixed. Not in a way where people thought it was just okay. It was a love it or hate it kind of mixed.
Nice.
But luckily, the people who loved it far outweighed the people who hated it. But people on both sides had their same reason for their views. It was different. Science fiction, to a lot of people, should be about space and exploration and new discoveries. The only thing people in this book were discovering was old inventions like the fucking lamp. Before this book, it wasn't all that common to talk about civilization collapsing from nuclear holocaust and the world surviving it. It was mostly about the slow death in the nuclear dystopian world. But in this, the world rebuilds, and the true horror is that we're doomed to repeat our past. When A Canticle for Leibowitz released, It very quickly won the 1961 Hugo Award for Best Novel, which, remember, as a short story, that first story won the Hugo Award like 6 years prior. And then he basically re-releases it in novel form, and they're like, "Fuck, still amazing." And so they give it to him again.
Still fantastic.
Since then, the book has only become more popular, having never been out of print. It's often regarded as one of the best sci-fi novels ever written, and frankly, I have to agree. It was even one of Carl Sagan's favorites. I really do gotta say, the book gets like looked over because it's old, but I still have to say it is fucking great. It's one of my favorites, I think. I would say top 20s at the very least. Just fucking read it. If it's not for you, it's not for you. Fucking whatever.
That's pretty big. I mean, you've read like 22 books, so.
And I did not like the sequel to Dracula. It sucked. So Walter Miller completes his first novel at about the age of 38 to rousing success. And much like Harper Lee does, he shuts himself up inside his home and just fucking vanishes.
Well, I mean, if you got money, like, yeah, get the fuck out of there.
I mean, you're a sci-fi writer. As a matter of, I mean,
what I mean by you got money is like, if you have a stream of income that allows you to have a home and then just like live modestly. And
not everyone's into that.
Like, what do you
Trust
mean?
me, dude. Because there's,
I feel like most people would be into that, man.
You and I, for sure. I thought so as well, but it's not true. I don't know about most. There are for sure people out there like us who are just like, I remember a fucking Facebook thing, like fucking getting thrown around, like, you have to live in a cabin and like have to, you can't work or do all this shit for a year, or you have to stay inside your house for a year. Could you do it? And I'm just like, fuck yeah, I could. Like, all I want is more time to read. That's all I want.
Yeah.
Like, I would do it at the drop of a hat. Like, yeah, I'll do it. But like,
yeah, dude.
Apparently no. I mean, Nicole's not like that. She's just like, no, I like, she's getting cabin fever just from the quarantine. And we're like minimally quarantined.
I mean, and this, like, why do you have to be cut off from people that live like that? Like, you can still just like go into town.
I'll cut off everyone. I will cut off everyone. I'll kick Nicole and my dog out of the house.
Yeah, I mean, laugh because you know she's going to listen. And start covering that up so that,
No. It's
see,
just
honey,
a joke.
I was joking.
It's just a joke.
I wouldn't prefer to just, like, beat off alone and fat and read until I die in the woods.
You're saying beat off like I'm going to fuck my hand like some kind of adult. At month 1, I'm eventually going to find something.
Actually, I mean, the raddest thing to do would be just, like, purchase one of them nice sex dolls.
No,
because
they're expensive.
Yeah, they're expensive, but I mean, like, if you have money, it's a one-time purchase, and then you just fucking, take good care of it. You got your sex doll, and then at that point, like, I mean, that is the, like, there's no going back to regular pussy after a sex doll. But
really?
Yeah, no. Let me explain myself. Here. Okay.
All right.
So, are you, like, seriously, if you invest in like an actual fucking sex doll, and then like what, you just pick up this like heavy ass fucking thing and then you put it into the closet and you just pray to fucking God that any woman you bring over isn't going to go into the fucking closet? No. And also, because it's so expensive, you have gone through in your head, and if you're going to make that investment, you're like, no, pussy isn't for me anymore. It's time to throw down.
I actually know somebody.
Oh, you do?
Who had one.
How is it?
He said it's heavy as fuck.
Yeah.
And there's like, he's just like, look, man, there's like it's like wire frame, so there's like little studs at the bottom of the feet, and they gross me out. And so what he did was, when he moved, he left
at the feet.
Yeah, when he moved, he left it in the closet. On purpose. Just for somebody to fucking find. He's like, it's heavy as balls, I'm not moving that thing. So
dude, it's such like, okay, so I'm such a piece of shit that like that popped into my head during aerial rescue training with a fucking like weighted dummy.
You might as well get a sex doll.
Because we used to like, no, dude, like,
that'd be fantastic.
So if anybody like gets cut in the tree and then they pass out from blood loss, right? Like, somebody on the ground has to be around to like be able to go get them. So like what we used to do for a while was like, we'd be running up and down, and then it would be like my boss up there, and we'd rescue him every time, and I'd always do fun things like play My Heart Will Go On while I grab him. and he has to act dead, and then, like, you know, shit like that. But then they finally switch to the fucking dummy.
Well, how much does it weigh?
It's heavy as fuck. It's like 150 pounds, the average climber weight.
Really?
Yeah.
150?
No, ideal weight for a tree climber is like a fucking jockey, by the way.
Really?
Of course
but
it
with
is.
all that gear?
The gear's important too, because remember the weight that you can carry while staying within the parameters of the working load. I'm nerding out. I'm not going.
No. I'm sorry. So you're out there lifting the ideal male, tree climbing male, and yet that
Like-
I feel like you're trying to tell me as 5'8", which is bullshit. But
like that would actually be the best thing. Is like
No,
the smallest thing, and then with the best like muscle to weight ratio.
in reality, the people climbing trees though have to at least be capping past 200.
No.
Really?
A lot of the best, most acrobatic, like Cirque du Soleil ass tree climbers are little
Yeah,
dudes.
that you don't work with. Those are people with YouTube channels. I'm talking about the
Exactly.
people that you're working with.
Oh,
though,
me?
are-
I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, no, you all are.
Like-
That's what I'm saying. That's why you don't have a YouTube channel. Everyone
Yes, but the good people I work with, or I have known in
are on the
passing,
ground crew,
like,
and they learn their mistake in 6 months and leave.
oh shit. But
You need to learn to pull 300 pounds out of a
But
fucking
no,
tree.
I remember like going after the dummy and like hooking it into myself, and then like, you know, hooking up the systems and like working it down and thinking about like, Jesus fucking Christ, this thing is hard to move. And the first thing that popped in my head was like, oh my god, yeah, no, a sex doll would suck. Like while I'm doing like an aerial rescue test.
To be fair, you have the gear to pull it into your room.
Actually, yeah.
You're just fucking putting crimps and shit into the fucking ceiling, just like pulling.
I live in a
lever-
cheap, shitty apartment, man. I'm not fucking throwing like, oh shit. I'm not. I'm not putting anything into the drywall.
I mean, honestly, what's going to happen? Your manager comes over and they're just like, "Hey, what are all these holes in the wall?" And it's just like,
Even just
I was rigging up a system to pull my sex doll in, and it's like, well, at least they're not holes put in there through cracks, smoke, you know, like just
No,
people
dude, like,
lighting up.
And I
cracks.
remember like it really like set in when I like got it on the ground, and I was like, oh, okay, we gotta flip it over in case we gotta do fucking CPR, right? And I'm just like, ugh.
You're not supposed to pull at its butt cheeks. You know,
It's just like, God damn it.
They're too wiggly. What am I supposed to do?
It's too floppy, man. Like, it's fucking way too floppy. And, like, there's no way the sex dolls are as floppy because, like, obviously that would just be...
How much do they weigh, sex dolls?
I don't know. You want to Google it real quick?
I mean,
I'm Googling it
honestly,
real quick.
okay, you might as well. But honestly, I think it might be better for you guys if you get a
Sex
full-on
dolls.
Dominique.
Wait, what if we just get a sex doll to dangle in the tree?
That's what I'm saying. Put her full of gear and shit. Like,
How much do sex... It won't be a good simulation, though, because they're not as loose as a fucking unconscious person.
that's true. They do have a wireframe.
And that's a huge part of it.
Yeah.
Like,
Do you happen to remember that guy who took that Sonic character, but made her out of bones, like human bones?
How much do sex dolls weigh?
I'm gonna pretend that you didn't hear me, and we're gonna move
I
past
didn't
it.
hear you.
That's good.
Okay, cool. I literally didn't hear you, so I'll just...
Yep,
I'll,
nope,
I'll,
that's
I'll just,
good.
I'll just listen to that later. Sex doll weigh in. Damn, this is... Finding this information is 150 pounds to start. At the low
That's
end.
it?
115.
That's light.
At the low end, yeah. 115 pounds is light?
Yeah, if you're going for a full-on sex doll, why the fuck would it... I mean, yeah,
That's
at the
a
very
lot.
least... Well, you're not out there getting a fucking child sex doll. You're getting a human adult female. Of course, it's at least 115.
Of course, Jordan!
Well,
but still...
So of course it is. You're going for realism.
There's lighter, more rigid material. Like, what the fuck is up with the bones? Make them out of aluminum. Like,
Make
why?
him out
Why
of
is
tinfoil.
like,
It keeps poking me. Fucking making my molars spark.
like Christ, dude? Like,
Now, before a canticle for Leibowitz. Put your phone
sorry,
down.
I'm on this. No. All right, fine, I'm done.
Between-
I'm done.
No, we will argue about this again later. Between
Over
19...
spicy wings.
Oh, yeah. Between 1951 and 1957, Walter Miller wrote 40 short stories, with 3 of them being collected into A Canticle for Leibowitz. And then he just practically never wrote again. You see, it was according to Miller's later collaborator, Terry Bisson, that Miller had some pretty severe depression, more than likely stemming from the PTSD he got during the bombing of Monte Cassino. Why wouldn't he?
Oh, well, good thing they knew about all that back then and could give him good help, right?
Oh, yeah. He just signed up for the American
Yeah.
socialized healthcare system, and he got help.
Thank
Miller
God.
began to not only shut out close friends, but family as well, basically only ever speaking to his wife. And I am including his children on that as well. He is only really speaking to his wife. But yeah, of course, J.B. Lippincott and Company is going to want to capitalize on the success of the first book. So they got Miller to sign a contract. And to sweeten the deal, they'd give him an advance of $1,000. Whoa. And yeah, that's a pretty low fucking cost for the guy who just popularized a whole genre of novels to a larger population for you. Either way, it wasn't until 1978, 17 years after A Canticle for Leibowitz was released, that Miller sent his agent about 60 pages worth of a new story, set in the same universe as his previous book.
That a little?
60 pages?
That's not very much, is it?
Fuck no.
Okay.
That's a fucking senior essay in college or something.
That's like the My Dick of stories.
And that's 17 years. Like, I have 60 pages. Like, oh, we're in fucking trouble. But then, that was it. Miller pretty much didn't speak to anyone ever again. However, there was a high school teacher that called him to see if, what the hell, maybe he'll answer. Well, Walter did pick up, and here's how that conversation went. Hello, Mr. Miller? Yes. Hi, my name is Danny Bowden, and I teach a science fiction course at Spruce Creek High School, and I want you to know how much I admire your novel, A Canticle for Leibowitz. That is how you pronounce it, isn't it? Leibowitz? I suppose. I'm not really sure myself. Oh, I wasn't sure if it was Leibowitz or Leibowitz. I'm not sure either.
This conversation sucks.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, so how's it pronounced? Leibowitz or Leibowitz? I'm not sure either. It's an honor to speak with you, and I'm calling to ask if you'd be willing to speak to the students in my science fiction classes someday. I don't mean a formal lecture, just a chance for my students to meet you and to ask you some questions. I'm sorry, but I won't be able to come. I've had a writer's block. And that was pretty much it. No one really heard from Walter for about another decade. These 60 pages that Miller wrote for J.B. Lippincott and Company remained filed away until about 1988.
I'm just happy the guy had enough money to be able to withdraw, and I wish he could have gotten better treatment, but I'm glad he was able to pull back and not have to
that good old fashioned veterans fund that he could just pull from month by month.
No, not that. From his fucking writing, if he was getting awards and shit. You know what I mean?
I don't think he was, but that's the thing is I honestly don't know how he kept going.
Remember back then, dude, it wasn't that fucking hard. It's not
get published
to fucking live.
Back then,
it didn't take the same amount of money. You could work minimum wage jobs.
This is the 70s and 80s. Yeah, maybe his wife is providing
back
for
then
him.
It was easier.
Yeah, sure. But he full on is not really working at all, nor is he writing. I mean, it might be a handicap fund or something like that. Not fun.
Wait, is he seriously not making any money off of his old writing at this point? You just stop getting checks?
Because
I don't know how that works.
I don't know. Because here's the thing. He wrote it during the 50s, when for sure, you having a right as a writer, those don't exist.
Yeah,
it is
true.
only up to the publisher and go fuck you otherwise. So I have no idea. I don't know how he's surviving. So he has these 60 measly pages for another story just filed away until 1988. When a publisher from Bantam got word of these fabled pages. Because you got to remember, he's like the sci-fi Harper Lee at this point. So this publisher for Bantam gets his feelers out, and hey, money talks. A couple months later, there's a new contract on the table, more than the feeble $1,000 the other guys had. And Miller starts pumping out pages. By 1995, 5 years later, Miller had around 600 pages of content. Now, I'm not sure how it happened, and I'm not even sure when it happened, but sometime in August of 1995, Miller's wife of 50 years, Anna Miller, passed away. And just like that, all work to his much-anticipated sequel stops. He enlisted help, either personally or through Bantam Publishing, and he received the helping hand of Terry Bisson, who we mentioned before. And it's kind of funny because out of all the decades of silence, Miller was such a fan of Terry Bisson's work that he actually wrote him a fan letter. However, he did put a postscript at the bottom of his letter which read, P.S. This does not mean I want to meet you.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Fucking legend.
Fucking cold.
And according to Terry, he didn't do much to contribute towards this novel, just tied up a few of the story's loose ends. Well, on the morning of January 9th, 1996, less than a year after his wife's death and just 2 weeks before his 73rd birthday, Walter M. Miller Jr. placed a call to 911 and reported that there was a dead man on his front lawn. The police arrived at 8:32 a.m.
Oh, it was just a random dead guy, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good.
Just 3 minutes after the call was placed, to find him dead from a single shot to the head, seated in his own lawn chair. With his unfortunate death, yeah. I mean, let's see, 1996, he was dealing with fucking a long time of PTSD. And
man.
it very clearly affected him. With his unfortunate death, Bantam still, of course, wanted to release the sequel, so with the help of Terry Bisson, they did. As Miller once told Bantam once they first enlisted his help, any idiot with a sense of humor can finish this book. So they did. St. Leibowitz and the Wild Horsewoman was released on October 13th, 1997. Cutting back from the over 600 pages that Miller had managed to complete, this novel is published at 434 pages long, pretty standard. The story takes place between parts 2 and 3 of A Canticle for Leibowitz, and if you'll recall, part 2 kind of ends on a cliffhanger with Texarkana taking over.
Because 2 to 3 was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it ends with Texarkana taking over New Rome and declaring the Pope a heretic. That's basically how it ends. Now, I'm not going to go super, super deep into the story because honestly, it was pretty confusing. Not because of a complicated plot, but because the whole thing is about the translation of languages. Basically, the story is about a monk by the name of Blacktooth St. George. He's a bit of an upstart at the Leibowitz Abbey, and frankly, his superior is looking for any excuse to kick him out. Well, one day, a visiting deacon comes by, and he's on his way to Valana, the replacement New Rome. However, to get there, he needs to cross through dangerous territory belonging to the Jackrabbit, Grasshopper, and Wild Dog tribes. He needs a translator.
To get there, he needs to do something fucking rad.
He needs a translator. And wouldn't you know it, Brother St. George was originally from the Jackrabbit tribe and has a knack for languages. So the whole book is about these political shifts and the election of a new pope, and basically the main goal of the church is to bring Christian power back to New Rome. To do so, they'll have to unite the Jackrabbit, Grasshopper, and Wild Dog tribes. And throughout the entire novel, while I do think this is a neat little gimmick, it gets very confusing as to who is talking to who, because almost every character is given multiple names and they switch very freely. For instance, in church speak and Old English, the main character is named Brother St. George. In his native Jackrabbit, it's Blacktooth. In Wild Dog, it's Nimmy. And in Grasshopper, Nimian. Yeah. And the leader of the Wild Dog tribe is named Chur also Hongen in his native tongue, Casoc Drivorder in Latin, and Holy Madness in English. It's like this for practically everyone.
Hey man, can you do Latin too? Fuck you, I'm Holy Madness.
No, it's true. They'll just pop it up. And the thing is it would be one thing if that's how it was in dialogue. You have a Jackrabbit character calling somebody something in Jackrabbit.
God damn it. Okay, we are getting into headache territory here.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Right, I'm sorry.
But the thing is just in the spaces in between dialogue, the author decides to switch up their names at a moment's notice, and it makes it very hard to keep track. Still a great story, though. It is really fucking good, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah, great as an outline, but it sounds like this one was not the tits.
Look,
when you're reading it.
I finished it a week ago. I need to read it twice.
Oh, that was the one you were working on,
Yeah.
where you were like, fuck, man, I still have, like, coincidentally, like, 60 pages left.
Yeah, and that's exactly what it was. It was, I thought that I could read it during my lunchtime at work. And I've been working on it for like a fucking year. I would not always. Sometimes I'm just
it's gonna be pretty.
I'm gonna take a nap instead.
I don't know if lunchtime's a good time for you, bud. Like, there's no way. I mean, you've got both hands occupied with McDonald's.
Fuck yourself.
And then what are you gonna fucking do? Like, slamming it down?
You
like,
know what?
You're gonna be
At least I wasn't
the books
born
with
a
the
second class
grease.
citizen. You motherfucking.
Yeah, but you became one later on through your dietary choices. Look at you now. Now we're on the same playing field. Sir, like, both hands occupied with fucking burgers. Like, what do you do at that point? Do you try to keep your nose clean so you can, like, lean down and flip it? And what do you do in between, like so you can just, like, absorb as much information as possible before the triple stack burger, like, goes into your fucking
It's not
mouth
a triple
and
stack,
blocks.
you dipshit. It's a double down.
Okay, before the double down goes... before the double down goes into your face and obscures your view of the book, like, on your lunch breaks. I don't...
So I'm just going to go ahead and this is now called Jordan Reads Books. This is without Caleb.
This is just Jordan Reads Books now. Jordan reads books while having a six-pack, as a matter of fact.
Ignore the tears, please. Now, while somebody smarter than me can probably figure out all the intricacies of what's going on in the book, the main plot is easy enough to decipher. Basically, just we're going to take over New Rome and we need to try and get all of these, fucking tribes together. What I didn't care for, though, was that in one chapter, there's a nomad that the main characters come upon that calls himself Benjamin.
Yeah, here we go again. All right.
Yeah. And he wears a yarmulke.
Of course I know him. He's me.
He's signaling his Judaism. And at one point he mentions that he was just in the town of Lana to meet with a cardinal, but says, quote, "But they would not let me in. And besides, he's not the one." With the O capitalized, so it's obviously meaning God or the son of God. And Blacktooth says to him, "Which one is that?" And Benjamin says, "Who knows?" So yes, if you believe Walter Miller wrote most of this book, he confirms that Old Ben really is the wandering Jew waiting for the resurrection of Christ in a single conversation. All mystery is gone. But the book is actually pretty fucking good. But unfortunately, after Miller's death, the marketing for the book kind of felt like a cash grab. Even though the book was written by him, it just felt strange to cut so many pages out from the 600 he'd written. And I've never read any of Terry Bisson's work, so I can't say for sure how much of it was written by him, but it does read like a canticle for Leibowitz. People just didn't flock to review it. Maybe it felt too little too late. I mean, it was almost 2 years after his death that they released it, but people rushed to get Ghosts at a Watchman when that came out, and the word was already out that it would be inferior to To Kill a Mockingbird. But if you look at the dust jacket for St. Leibowitz and the Wild Horsewoman, all it has is reviews for the first book. It's a little depressing, and even now, a little over 20 years later, it's almost guaranteed that if you find a copy, it's still a first edition. I know mine is.
It's pretty sick.
Yeah. I mean, so the whole thing, though, is, so St. Leibowitz and the Wild Horsewoman, it's basically the main character of Blacktooth having a crisis of faith between St. Leibowitz, does he go for Catholicism or his old native ways where the Wild Horsewoman is very much a god amongst them. And I will say it's pretty cool. There's this neat little scene where basically as a trial of if you're like manly enough, you have to sit into this crater of the town of Meltdown, which is obviously Meltdown. And you have to sit in the crater and basically
sit in the crater and put your dick in an oven mitt full of wasps.
You have to have radiation sickness until you start hallucinating. Like, it's cool as shit.
And then come back and expose us.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I don't understand what that does as the writer.
So one of the characters goes down there and does it, comes back, and he believes that he's been married to the buzzard of battle, the red buzzard.
That's so fucking metal.
Dude, the books are still, I highly recommend all of. There's only 2 books, but I recommend all of them. They're great. They're so fucking cool.
Buzzard of
come on,
Babel.
fucking. We had to go out to find Holy Madness, the
Dude.
king of the.
If anybody listening is a fucking musician and is thinking about getting a project up, the Buzzard of Battle. Please, God.
I also do like Holy Madness. Okay,
that might be taken.
Holy Madness. Yeah, it might be. But you know what? Okay, so my
Holy
favorite
Madness
scene.
for like a power metal band, yes.
It's frat metal.
That'd be fucking
Come on.
fantastic. Power metal?
No, frat metal.
Oh.
For Holy Mad.
Holy Madness. No, frat metal is like frat metal is gonna be like hardcore or like or like metalcore. And that's not the vibe with. That's frat metal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where they like have the weird breakdown and then they start singing like they're in fucking in sync and you're like, I love and you just stop it.
Stop it.
It sounds like
You're gonna
shit.
make my beer. So no, but my favorite part is just the fact that there's like they catch a spy cat like just fucking listening in on all their shit, and the one of the guys from one of the wild dog tribes, he's just like fuck, it is an honor to kill a spy, and they're just like, no, you cannot kill, that's not Catholic, you can't do that. So he's like, okay, fine. So he leaves for like 20 minutes and he comes back and they're like, so is he in jail? And he's like, yes, most of him is. And then and then he dumps out a bag and it's something like and there in the bloody mess I saw like a tip of a nose, both ears, a hand, and what may be a penis, you know. And he's just like, what did you do with the rest of them? And he's like, he's chained up now. And he's like, oh, I know what that means. That means that you drill the hole through both cheeks, put a piece of leather, and have him tied to a wall. Jeez. Like, yeah, it's fucking rad.
Dude, Catholicism is kinky as fuck.
No, that's sci-fi.
Oh, my
Catholicism has nothing to do with
you
that.
tell me the fucking difference. Like,
look, we're gonna go get fucking anointed tomorrow. We're both gonna get baptized, and we're gonna fucking watch Mad Max. It's gonna be cool as shit. Catholicism. No,
man, that's
either
gonna be
way
a problem. I regret nothing.
It's hard not to say that the story of author Walter M. Miller Jr. doesn't end on a low note, regardless of how great Saint Leibowitz in The Wild Horsewoman is. But no matter what, he will always, until the Great Flame Deluge, of course, be known for writing A Canticle for Leibowitz, one of the 20th century's greatest sci-fi novels. My sources today.
A Testicle for Leibowitz.
A Testicle for Leibowitz by Walter M. Miller Jr. Bantam Books,
Thank you
Inc.
so much. Thank you for that.
9th printing, February 1982. St. Leibowitz and the Wild Horsewoman by Walter M. Miller Jr., Bantam Books, 1997, and of course Wikipedia. Also, you can go and see our sources on the Caleb Can't Read Sources page on Facebook. And go on to Caleb Can't Read as well. CalebCan'tRead.com. You could check out whatever the fuck you want to. And we have a Twitter page. You can see when our new shit is up. We should really watch fucking... Which Mad Max do you want to go for? Yeah, I know. Which one do you want to do? I actually have 3 different editions of Fury Road.
I'm gonna say Road Warrior is my favorite for sure.
I'm thinking. Well, I haven't seen it in a very long time. Fury Road is still my favorite.
It's great. The first Mad Max used to bore the shit out of me, but it's
really, still great. It's its own thing. Though.
It really grew on me, and the thing I love about the first Mad Max is like, just. It's I mean, of course it's fucking Mad Max. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But at the same time, like showing it like, oh no, it's gonna be a slow collapse. And here's a guy in the slow collapse.
But not
like,
really.
I like that.
Yeah, but it's
like
really
society is still kind of functioning. Like he's still going to work.
Remember, there's those campers too.
Yeah,
they're just like, hey guys, what's going on? You know?
Like
it's fucking weird.
I mean, the abrupt jump to Road Warrior is pretty funny.
It is, but you know what? Like, I mean, people in Australia are to like...
And also terrible ending. Like, okay, what was the ending scene in Mad Max rad as fuck? You know, the whole where he's like, you can cut your arm off, you might fucking live, but you're probably just going to burn alive next to this thing. Like,
I don't even remember that,
Was that
honestly.
scene rad as fuck? Yes, it is rad as fuck, but it was also like a really weird and not like well-paced way to end the movie.
Yeah.
You know, whereas Road Warrior is pretty rad. And Thunderdome is like, oh my god, it's gonna be so funny. We're gonna watch Thunderdome. And there's gonna be the fucking, there's gonna be Master Blaster and Tina Turner, and then you get through that, and you're like,
he has but the mind of a child.
yeah, no, you can't kill him, no. And you pull the mask off, and he's all, oh, and you feel really uncomfortable. It's great, but like you get through that part, and then you're like, shit, I still have an hour.
Yeah, no, he only actually directed 2 scenes in that movie. I don't know if you know that or not.
George Miller, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He actually directed only that Thunderdome scene where they fight and the ending runway scene. Those are the only 2
the
good
bits that are fucking
that are
rad?
good. Yes.
Like,
the rest of it, so unfortunately,
I don't know, the pig farming shit was like pretty like
it's fine on its own, but
cool.
it's clearly not him.
Yeah.
But basically what happened was he had a personal friend scouting locations in a helicopter, and the helicopter crashed and died. And George Miller was actually distraught.
Was that for... So that was
during... That was for Thunderdome.
That was for Thunderdome, scouting. And that was after they had dude in a helicopter died in Road Warrior?
Yeah.
Oh, that must...
No. I think that you're mixing it up.
No. Dude, does dude in helicopter die in Road Warrior or Thunderdome?
You mean during the actual movie or like in real
during the
life?
actual fucking movie.
Oh, then I don't know. But
I'm pretty sure the dude in the helicopter
life,
in the Road Warrior in like the little
dude
personal
in a helicopter?
Yeah, a little personal helicopter thing. I'm pretty sure he
did. He
does he die in the beginning of?
I don't fucking
shit. All right, we're about to get way off Road Warrior. Yeah, we're watching Road Warrior. We're studying this tonight. Fuck yes.
Dude, I love though, I do have 3 copies of Fury Road because one of them was before the movie came out. I got it in the Philippines.
I don't even want to talk with you about how hard I have nerded out on that fucking movie, dude. And I'm like...
The main fucking menu comes up to like a Rihanna song, or I don't know who does it, just... And it's like... It's supposed to be Fury Road, but it wasn't out on DVD yet. I'm like, fucking, a cam job is the best I'm gonna do. And then I bought it when it first came out, and then they had the black and chrome edition. And now that I have a 4K TV, I'm gonna have to get it again.
The Filipino version.
We can.
Okay.
Dude, Philippines are great with their fucking bootlegs.
With the piracy?
Yeah, because the fucking
Yar.
Sometimes they'll have the special features all on there too. There's subtitles.
That's fucking great.
It's good. Dude, they put in a lot of work. Everything is labeled Blu-ray, but they are still just DVDs, but still. Yeah, I mean,
whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
But yeah,
I think that they're ripping me off and shit. They're like, "Oh, white boy, it's 50 cents." And I'm like,
I don't know if that's...
Oh no. Happens every time. But dude, that's how I got Cannibal Holocaust was in the Philippines.
I'm charging this guy $50 for his tattoo.
That actually happened too.
I know, like I'm looking at it right now.
He was like $250. Like I heard him like talking in the background, and I'm just like, that's still cheaper than what I would have gotten in the States. Like,
I mean, to be fair, like it's faded. I'm looking at it on your arm right now.
Yeah,
and it's the Death Eater symbol. Which, fuck.
No. I got it primarily because
Potter kids,
yes,
dude,
it's a Harry Potter thing,
like,
but also people that don't know Harry Potter, like my brother, who just go, "That's a sick biker tat," and I'm like, "Fuck yeah, it is." All fat and shit, just like, "Yeah, I'm tough."
Actually,
I'm a tough boy.
Actually, no. To be fair, like most of the time,
it's a cool design.
Most of the time, people either just think it's a cool design or they know what it is, and the vast majority of the time, like it's usually in your defense, just women being like, "Oh, is that a Death Eater tattoo?"
Yeah. Exactly.
Surprisingly,
it's a win-win.
And every time I'm just like, what the fuck?
It's it's a win-win. You roll up your sleeve and they're just like, that's a goat with a top hat.
Man, that took 7 hours. That sucked.
It looks good.
We've already been over that.
I don't know where else to go from there. What Mad Max movie do you want to watch though? I'm thinking Road Warrior.
We're doing Road Warrior because it's the
absolute best. You're right.
The absolute best.
Toe cutter. No, that shit. Sorry, that's the first one. Fuck.
Hey, wait.
Ayatollah Rock and Rolla.
All right, so
that's the second one.
Any closing thoughts here?
Suck my dick.
All right.
That's all I got.
Well, makes you think.